and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn something that you would definitely use in every website. And I'm talking about a form. Okay? So, when do we use form? Well, when we want to collect data from the user, for example, you probably might want like to have like a contact form where the user put like their name, phone number, email address, and like some type of message, and then they send the submit button, and then when they click on that button, like you will get like maybe an email, or you probably want that data to go inside the database or whatever you want to do with the data. You collect that information by using a form. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do about that I want to say about form is when you guys use create a form, forms work like different. The thing is that forms, once you click the submit button, or it could be the send, whatever you want to call this button, it will go inside like type of script. Okay, so the script will be like we haven't talked about it yet, but it is a programming language, and it could be something that is called PHP. Okay, so PHP, once you try to collect the data, you will call a like a in a script, and then that script will collect all the data, and it does what it's supposed to do. Like for example, if you want to send the data to the database, or if you just want to receive the information inside an email, or anything you want to do with that information. Okay, we are not going to talk about PHP, at least for this intro course. So that's something that you don't need to keep in mind for now. But it's very important that once you guys get used to HTML, you should learn a little bit of PHP. Okay, just in case, so you can like manipulate that data altogether. And let's start. So how do I create a form? The first thing that I do is I use what I call the form element. And this form will contain two things. And this one is option, two attributes, and the other attribute is the method, okay? For the method, I will say post. And for the option, this is the script that you use. For example, I can say contact.php, and that will be a separate page, which is going to be written in PHP. Let me see if I can do something here really quick. So in order to start PHP, you have this, and then you name this file index, or not index. In this case, you can name it contact.php. So once you have this here, you can create some variables. For example, if you collecting the name, and then you do some stuff here, some PHP code, and then this PHP code will take care about the form. Okay. But again, we're not gonna do the other part. We're just gonna learn about the elements that you can add inside this form. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and click save, and just refresh the page. Nothing's happened because I'm just declaring a form, so nothing's supposed to happen right now. So the first thing that I want to add is a text input, and text input basically a set one line of text from the user. For example, here I can just put type test, and then just use the name. And for now, I'm just gonna call this full name. And I'm just gonna click save so you guys can see something really quick. And there you go, only this. But right now, as you guys can see, nothing's like nobody knows that what they need to put there. So you guys can do two things here. You can just type full name, okay, and I just can have something like this, and there you go. So now the user know that they can add their full name there. Okay, so that's the first one, the text input, which is type test. And keep this thing in mind because we're gonna be using this a lot every time we use this, because it's not only for this, but you can use for other stuff. Okay, so the next one that I want to add for now is the submit button. If I have this, then I put type, and then I just click submit. For now, if I click, you will see like that submit button there. But if you want to add another value, you just can just say this value, the attribute value equal send. And then it will change to send. And of course, if you want to have this somewhere like this and just want to add a little bit of space, just for these samples, I'm gonna use the break, but I don't like to use that. I usually use like some margin between those, my form and the button, just to keep it more clear and clean. All right, so let's start adding other type of button. What I'm gonna do is just gonna go ahead, copy and paste, and I will just add those things like this, okay? Because I will be adding things in each line. So the second one that I want to try is the radio button, which is create a single control with several buttons there. So the buttons that I create, you can just select one. All right, so for example, if I do an input and then I type, and I use the type attribute type radio, and then I'm going to give it a name as, just let's say, what do we call this? Gender, I guess. And then let me just click save. Nothing's supposed to happen, just this button right here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put like an M there. What? Ladies first. I'm gonna put the female, and this is female. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste. I will add the male here. Okay. So now we have these two, and of course you can have a BR here, so you can just have like one on top of the other one. So about this, the first thing that you have to know is that the form, if you click send right now, it doesn't know which one you just select, okay? And of course, just to show you that you can just select one, look at this. If I said this, select this or this, you cannot select both at the same time, okay? The thing is, like, you need to add the attribute value and then say, you know, this is F or whatever you want to call this. You don't need to call whatever you put it like that. You can just give it a value, what this represents for the person, for the user who's seen your website. But this thing here represents another value from what you are going to collect, okay, on your form. And here I just can say value and just put an M. And again, if I click, nothing's supposed to happen, right? Because I didn't do anything in the front end, which means what the user can see. I'm just making sure that when I click submit, this person, my script, will take this value, and it will say, well, the name here, this is the value for this, and the name here is the value for this. But of course, it will only pick whatever you check. All right. If I do an inspect element, and I already click on that, you will see that. So let me just make this a little bit big. So I have these two right here. So you guys can see the value, and that's how you guys can, if you are, if you are on the website and you are filling up a form, and you want to see like exactly what they mean by whatever they add in here, then you can see what the value will be for each thing they add here, right? I'm just gonna go ahead. I mean, there's no need to do that, of course, but once you start using inspect element, you like to do that. Anyway, so the third, well, yeah, the fourth, I guess, yeah, thing that you can add inside of form is the checkbox. And the checkbox is literally the same as the radiator. The only thing is that you can select more than one. Okay. And of course, in a checkbox, not in like a little circle like this. And for that, I'm just going to go ahead and type input and type checkbox, the attribute. And of course, you need to give it a name all the time because this is how your script, your language will know what is the value of this thing here. Okay, so it's very important that you always add a name. And I will say the value, let's say, I will say just one, just put like the value number one. And of course, I'm gonna just say here, number, and there you go. Okay, but again, if you want that to come up, you can add it here. She's outside, or you can either do it here. She's totally okay. But you need to use only one, not two, because then you're gonna get the user confused. All right, so for this one, and again, I can just copy and paste, do this, and then just copy and paste one more time. And then I have this two, and this is three. Oh, that's what I did there. And this is three. And I'm just going to add 2 and 3. Of course, you will see like this. If I click this, I mean that I did this, but you can also do this, and you can also do this in a checkbox. And again, the difference is that on the radio, you just can select one at a time. On this one, you can just select as many as you want. Just make sure that they have the same name, because again, once you send this value to your script, they won't know what's the value of this input here. So let's go with the other one. And the other one is what do I have? The text area. Okay, the text area, which is basically the same as the type test, but the only difference is that here you can write a paragraph. So I'm gonna go ahead and it will take multi-line, just like this. We'll take as many lines as you want. Another thing is like you can just make this bigger like this, or I can refresh and just say, hey, I want, oops, I always do that. All right, so I can say here, hey, let's put the rows and let's do at least 6 rows. And you know what? Let's do some columns and let's do at least 10 columns. Okay. Let's see if I say, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just like this is 6. Okay. So I'm just going to click save. And there you go. So literally here, you're just saying like height and width of the text area right here. Okay, so, and again, this one, you can just add it when you create a form, and then that form asks you to add a sentiment, to type your message right there. So then you do that. But wait a minute, let me just make sure that this one doesn't have an S, because I think it does. Let's see. There you go. Let me see. Does it have an S at the end? You just put 26. So yes, it does have an S at the end. We just put the S. There you go. So this is like the high of it. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it back to 6. There you go. And this one, just to make sure that it works, I'm gonna make this 20, and it should be a little bit. There you go. Okay. So 6 and 20. All right, so far so good. And again, we have a form. inside the form, we have some elements, and everything that is inside here, once you click this button right here, the send, it will be in the script, it will talk to the server, and then the server will do something with that information. And again, we are not going to talk about that, at least for now in this course, but we're gonna get there one day, okay? Because again, this one specific course right now is only for HTML and CSS, but if I create another course, then I will definitely say that yes. But you know what? Look for the other video, because yes, I will definitely create a video and see how, make this thing work. All right. So let's go with the other one. Another one that I want to show you is that we had the select. The select options is clearly creating like a menu for you, but not the type of menu that we used to see. It's just that we used another option here, and then this option has some values, okay? And again, this is my value, and I will say 1, and of course I can put 1 to represent 1. And again, if I click save, and you see the 1 here, but if I remove the 1, you will not see anything because the value is hidden from the user, okay? The only person who can see this is the person who write the code, and of course, if you use inspect element, okay? So the way that I like to do this is always type select 1, something like this for the first one, and give it a value of 0, okay? And then here I can say 1, just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this a few times, and of course this one will be 2, 3, and 4, okay? 3 and 2, there you go. Now I'm just gonna go ahead, refresh the page, select 1, and then I will say the select button right here. So you can just select 1, I select 2, it will know that I picked the 2 because the name of the value. And again, you can also give it this to any class or anything you may want. And of course, you can design this the way you want. Okay, so this is it for this video, but I just want to say one more thing about the text input here. Let me just go ahead and give you 2 more at least, which is very important just to make sure. The thing is, I have another one for email, okay, and then the input, and then the type. Guess what? What will be the type of this thing? So of course, yeah, the type of this one, it could be email, right? And then I just can select this, and of course, if I click here, it will show every email that I have. So I'm not gonna click on it because it recognized that I'm trying to put an email. It will definitely assume that I won't write an email here. Okay, so this one you can try, it will definitely work. And you know when you go in and fill out any form and then you click on it and then you start, like for example here, if I click there, you can see my name right away, right? Right away. But then here, if I click there, you will be able to see all emails that you type, just because somewhere on Chrome, if you're using Chrome or Mozilla, you already saved that email somewhere on type email. And of course, because it's type email, this is the point of email, that it will recognize only when you put an email, and it will make sure that you type an email. If you don't type an email and then you click submit, it will definitely say, wait, by the way, I do not have this file. So if I click that, do you guys see that because I had contact.php, it was when I click submit, it went to contact.php. So that's what it's doing. It's like looking for the script to work. But since I don't have it, let me just leave it in blank right now, just in case. Click save. So now I click send and nothing's happened. Okay, so once you click send, it will go to the option that you want your form to go. All right. So what else? What else? What else? We also have another one, which is for telephone. Okay, and guess what? What will be the type of this one? So yes, it will be tel for telephone. And again, if I add there, if I add this, and various information, yes. If I click there, it will show me all cell phone numbers that I've been trying to add in other forms because I already saved them on Chrome. So I'm gonna click on it, but please try and then you will see it. Okay, so let's see if I have something. I mean, there are more, but this is like literally the most important thing. I don't know if you probably guys recognize all this, like all these tests that they ask you your first name, last name, your address. You do the same thing for the address. It asks you for your email. It asks for your cell phone number. Sometimes it asks you for the gender, if you female or male, and sometimes ask you if you like have anything, whatever they want you. And even though not even this, but remember when they ask you sometimes like, do you agree to this thing? Check this box for you agree. There you go. So you can always use that as well, and then use it and be like, hey, write a code and say if this box is not checked, then don't submit the form, and then you can make this available or disable this button here that until people don't click I agree, they will not this button right here, it will not be available to the user to submit it, right? To submit the form. So let's see what else. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and again, this is, and you can just add whatever you want and create the form whatever you want. And of course, you can add CSS to make this look better because right now it just look like this. You see that? It doesn't look like that fun. So you can use CSS to change this color, to change the background, to make this a little bit bigger, or make this better, to show, you see this, that right now is blue. You can even change that to go red if they putting the wrong information, or if they click send and and the value are empty. So you can point it as a red using CSS. So that's pretty much for tables. I mean, not tables. We did table last lesson. So pretty much for forms. And we're gonna start talking about JavaScript. And I will see you in the next lesson.